Hi, my name is Kelly, and we're going to talk about the reaction phase. It's about the fourth phase in a critical incident stress debriefing. Everybody talks a lot more about the emotional aspect once they finally truly get off of autopilot and they're really starting to think about the event, how it really made them feel. And again, they speak only for themselves in this phase. One of the big things that we talk about in this phase is what the worst part of the event was for you, and that usually brings up a lot of the emotional aspects of what a critical incident stress debriefing is. So you go from the cognitive and the head portion to the heart, where it's emotional, and then back eventually up into the cognitive phase. This phase, it's the longest phase normally, and it gets to be the most emotional phase for some people, not for everybody, but for most people.
If you want to start that off.
I think that was just it. I think you said it. I associated the wife and the boy. Like I said, I've seen death before. It's nothing new to me. But this time I saw my family, and it hit me. You know. It's changed me.
It was familiar to you. You could associate with it. It was like, and that's normal because, as you said, your wife and your child, same ages or similar ages. You know, that happens as common. I don't want to say it's normal, but it's very common. You know, and hopefully, over time, that'll pass. But it's up to you. You need to keep track of that and monitor it, and you know, make sure it doesn't get worse.
So I keep hearing normal being thrown around a lot. I mean, this job is what we do. We expect this is going to be high first responders. We're running towards a danger. We're going to see death. We're going to see things happen, equipment malfunction. What it makes me angry and frustrated that it's just when it's your partner and loses her job, don't have a career, don't have a leg. I mean, it hits home. It really hits home. I mean, it's like you expect it. This is our job. This is what we do. We feel like we're almost bulletproof kind of thing. It's just sometimes when our mind's not able to deal with that. It's just when it hits home, because to me, it's just another day in the neighborhood. Family dies, someone gets hit by a car, wrecks. I mean, drug deal. I mean, these things happen on a daily. It's our job. From all of our disciplines, this is what we do. But when it's your partner, when it's you, who you are and what you hang out. I mean, people you go to work with every day, and you know their families, you know their cousins, you know their brothers and sisters. And now that's what compounds it. It makes me so mad that when equipment fails and health lights get delayed, I don't know if this can be normal. This is not normal. How can we accept normal? What is normal? And this job ain't normal anymore. I thought it was just another day.
When I was, sorry to interrupt you, Charlie, but what I was talking about, you'll get a new normal. You'll never be who you were yesterday. Everything, good things, bad things, all affect us, right? You're just going to get through this at some point. It's going to be different for each of you, and then you'll have a new normal. It's not going to be an operational normal. It's not going to be, but it'll be more of a functional, emotional normal. You'll just get somewhere that you're going to be healthy again, but every event affects and changes us, right?
I just feel like I can't get healthy. I can't get to that place.
When you said you haven't been sleeping.
No, I haven't been sleeping at all. I've been up all night, just thrashing and it's really embarrassing. I feel like I can't do this. I feel like I can't get control of my emotions. I can't just think of other things. I can't just look past her leg and thinking of my own leg being, it's just, I can't, I don't know what to do.
Well, we're going to get to a portion, and Randy will take us there in a little bit, where we can talk to you about some things you can do, some healthy things you can do to get out of this.
I'm sorry.
You've been through a lot, and it's okay to be upset, and it's okay to be stressed.
I'm a wreck. I can't. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
I think what's going to be normal is how you feel, not the event. That's never going to be normal. And I think what we're trying to say is how you're feeling, angry, frustrated. That's what's normal, not the event that happened. You're never going to see it being normal to have these things happen, but what you feel is normal.
Do you normally not sleep very well?
No, not the greatest as of late. Just being on the job, like they were talking about in the debrief. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, there's some things we can do. Do you have any counselors or any clinicians or anybody that you talk to?
No, I don't have anybody to talk to. I'm not married. I don't have any family or anything. So, I feel like there's nobody there.
What about your folks, or do you go to church, or?
I do, but I don't know anyone that well. I feel awkward kind of asking people for help.
Sure. I mean, where are the fixers? We're the fixers, we're the helpers.
Yeah.
So I know a name of a lady, and she totally understands first responders, and we've sent some other people to see her.
Yeah.
And she's a really good clinician, and again, she's very culturally competent into first response.
Yeah.
And she does this thing called EMDR, and it helps your brain process an event, because you sound like you're reliving it. So your brain hasn't filed it.
I can't stop thinking about it. I'm just obsessive, and I don't want to think about it. That's the thing.
So we need to help your brain get that processed and get it filed, right?
Yeah.
So EMDR helps. You're not going to forget it. It's not going to go away. But instead of reliving it when you remember it, it's like you see it from up there and you watch it, and then it helps it. So it's not as painful.
Yeah.
And it helps lessen that.
Wow, I can't even imagine that. I can't imagine.
Well, I've seen some other people that work with me, and they really liked it. One lady did it, and she said she was just exhausted, tired. She went home and just went to bed at 3 in the afternoon. And another cop that we had go see this gal, he reacted a little bit different. He wasn't exhausted, tired. He actually went and ran. It was kind of almost the opposite. And then he went and saw her 3 or 4 times, as did the lady cop. But it really helped them. So you might have a little different reaction initially from it, but none of them were bad. And it helped them all process that, and then sleep deprivation is horrible for a person, because after 3 days of not sleep, normally people are up here if you get 8 hours sleep, but after 3 days, you'll almost go down here, and you can actually die from not sleeping. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to scare you, but we need to get you to process this stuff and get you where you can get some rest.
Because I can't live like this. Yeah.
Right.
This is horrible.
So after the debriefing's over, I'll go and get that information from my briefcase and stuff, and then we'll get that. And then, do you want to have coffee in a couple days?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or lunch or something?
Yeah, thank you. I really need to reach out. I haven't been. Like I said, I go to church, but I don't know. I just feel awkward. And my line of work, it's like, I don't know how to relate. It's just, I don't know.
They're just going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah, they're just going to think I'm crazy. And thank you so much. I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
All right, well, why don't we head back in?
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
All right,
Thank
we're going to get through this.
Thank
All right.
you.
Why do I feel it
feel
now?
that way.
Because I've had people get their legs severed before, but now my partner does.
Yeah.
Why am I feeling this way? I mean, am I weak? I mean, am I losing it?
No, I think it was closer to home than it has been in the past. It was your partner. That brings it a whole nother level of magnitude. When you know somebody and you're close to them, and you know their brothers and sisters and cousins, and you see them hurt like that brings it a whole new
It's almost like
level.
a family member. Your partner's just like family. And so that's why it's probably affecting you a lot more.
Sure thing.
And, this normal Charlie is, like you said, we deal with this every day. We see dead people every day. And it's unfortunate. And unfortunately, our goal here today is to help you get through this process so that the next time, and everybody knows, Charlie, you said it already, you go through this all the time. We're going to have another one of these. It's going to happen. And so this incident right here is going to come up when that incident happens. And hopefully this incident and the things that we talk about and the process that we go through will help you deal with even that incident. And it will also help you deal with this incident. Even if it's 6 months from now that you're dealing with a very similar incident, it will help you that day, and it will help you from this incident. So try to trust in what the process is, and we'll get through all of these phases, and we'll talk afterwards, some one-on-one stuff if we need to. We'll give you some literature, and you know, I know for myself, being on this team for a very long time, and everybody else here, if you need a business card, you need my cell phone number, you need to contact us on a one-on-one basis, and you need some help later on, that's what we're here for. That's what we do. But trust in this process and let us help you get through the process and go through all of these emotions and explain to you that they are normal, and we will help you out. All right?
And Charlie, it has nothing to do with your strength. Like Liv said, this is closer to you because it was your partner. It was closer to you because it reminded you had that association with your wife and your child. It can be something significantly smaller than that. It can be a shoe on the side of the road from a call. You can only stow everything that we see every day. You can only put that in your backpack for so long. And then eventually your sack, your mind is only going to hold so much. And eventually it's just going to go. And it can be that smallest thing, or it can be your partner. But you don't have a control over. You can try and prepare for that, and some of this we'll talk about later. Okay? Did anybody else want to talk about their reaction to it? What was the worst thing that you felt about the incident?
Questioning if I want to do this.
Okay.
I mean, probably the most junior member here. I'm only 20 years old. I haven't been doing this that long, and this is the first case of like anything even remotely close to this happening to me on the job in my life. I've never seen anything like this before, and I don't know if I could get to the point where this just becomes routine and normal for me. I don't know if I want to become the kind of person that can just be okay with seeing this. It just, I mean, I can relate to you. I haven't slept. I did not sleep the first night when I went home. I can barely remember ever falling asleep since it's happened. I'm tired. I'm angry. I'm sad. And I'm carrying this around, and I really am questioning, do I want to keep doing this? I figure I haven't even been in that long. Maybe this is the time to get out now.
And all of us are on this team because we've been in similar situations. And we're going to try and help you use tools. I remember one of my first calls when I was in the Coast Guard, or being in the Coast Guard, was dealing with a grandfather who had fallen down an embankment off a bridge. And you could still see the scratch marks all the way down the bridge from where he tried to save his own life. And I still remember that to this day. But it's those moments that you come by later where everything is perfect, that you're like, oh, this is why I do this job. These days, these incidents, like Liv said, aren't normal. Everything that could go wrong on this seemed to have been able to go wrong. So it's those good days that you want to hold on to and make better of, that kind of overshadow these. Hopefully this is the worst one you have to deal with in your career.
And keep in mind, now really isn't the time to be making big decisions like this, okay? You said that this is the first call that you've been on. Well, when you signed up for this job, I'm sure you understood that you would probably encounter something like this. And everybody has probably been involved in something similar to this. And in your case, maybe not. But this affected everybody differently. This is probably one of the worst events that everyone in here has been through. So ultimately, obviously, the decision would be up to you. But I just would hope that you wouldn't make a big decision like that in a time like this.
It's real important because when you have a critical incident, you have a huge amount of chemicals that are dumped into your system. I kind of talked about that before. But you really want to wait a while, like John's saying, before you make life-changing decisions. Wait a month, 6 months, if you can wait a year, if you can do that. It's important not to make huge decisions, selling a house, buying a house, getting married, getting divorced, quitting a job, starting a new job, when you're under this kind of stress right now, okay? So if you can give it some time, John's saying it's real important to give it that time.
Well, what kind of, what can we, I'd love to maybe talk with you more about what I can do.
And we can talk afterwards. We're going to get through the educative and signs and symptoms phase of this in a little bit, and then we'll get you some resources and like I said, okay? All right.
So this empty seat I was actually saving for my buddy who was on Rescue 12 with me, and he's just, I don't know, he didn't want to come today. But I mean, he's not here to get those resources. I'm worried about him. I mean, he's not normal. He's not like he was.
Well, you know how to contact him, right? I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, if you could, just make sure he gets. We'll give you contact information and make sure that gets to him. Okay? Because we did hold a spot for him. And you know, maybe something else came up and he couldn't be here, or maybe he just didn't want to be. But make sure he gets that information because it's for everybody.
If you feel comfortable with that. And if you don't, like I said earlier, absolutely, I'm sure John will give you his phone number. He'll make that phone call for you and try to meet with him on a one-on-one basis if need be.
Absolutely.
So
Sometimes the unknown of this process can be very intimidating. And people don't want to come because they don't want to share in a situation like this. So like Rob said, any one of us on this team would be more than willing to meet him for coffee, lunch, whatever, to discuss it with him one-on-one to help him out with that. Okay? Would you like to share the worst part of your reaction to this?
You know, I've been anxious. You know, I don't know how. It's kind of like everybody's been saying. I don't know how we can go on our next call and not have this with us. You know, I'm just dreading the next time I hear that bell. And I don't know. I mean, I'm more worried about my buddy than I am about me. I mean, I'll figure it out, but I don't know how long this is going to take, and I don't like feeling like this.
And you being worried about your buddy is probably why you do this job. And we all appreciate what you do, and we will help you get through this. And the first time you go out on a call, you're going to have some anxiety. You're going to have some, you know, you're going to have those feelings of, you know, tenseness and things like that. And we'll help you get through it.
Well, I was probably close to like your buddy not wanting to come today. I didn't really see the point. I know we're going to talk about feelings and how we can move forward, but you know, there isn't interpretations when it comes down to the facts of equipment not working. So, but you know, I'm not sure how I quite feel about everything yet, but I'm glad I came, and so I'd encourage you to reach out to him, just because I've been kind of deciding if I want to do this anymore too. Like, why would I go out on a call if I don't know if the equipment's going to work? I had confidence before that the equipment would work and I'd be the right guy to go out. But with this happening, kind of deciding if I should do it or not. But actually hearing some of this, I'm realizing maybe my training and everything will put me as the right guy to be there. Do I want to leave that in the hands of someone else on that next call? Or maybe someone that after this process I'm able to maybe troubleshoot or you know, figure things out now that I can anticipate not having the equipment work. Maybe I am that guy that needs to be out there on the next call. And so quitting isn't the answer. Can't have everyone quit every time stuff doesn't work out. So I guess maybe talking about it, and you know, you hate to have death or some tragedy be the reason why you get changes. But as much as I hope we get some equipment fixed and some budget issues kind of changed, I'm also hoping that my new normal will be better prepared.
Thank you for sharing
if that
that.
makes
Yeah,
any
that's
sense.
great.
I appreciate you coming and just making that point to her about her partner is just, that's fantastic. Thank you.
And keep in mind, like you said, when you hear that bell ring, when you go to get the jaws of life, or when the door is going to roll up, you're going to have anxiety, and you're going to have triggers and flashbacks, and you're going to see things like that. So just be prepared for that. Just so you're aware that when you do hear that bell, it first couple times, and it may be the next time, it may be 5 years from now. You'll have symptoms of this same event. Okay.
So you were in dispatch, right?
Yes.
What was the worst part of that?
Well, I think the hardest part is, hearing the callers, and I got calls from multiple people about this accident, and hearing the terror in their voice, and the scenes that they were describing. And sometimes what you can conjure in your own mind's eye is just as bad as what these guys were seeing on scene. And of course there was the frustration with the heliflight, but that's weather, you can't control that. But once I got everybody on scene, I had to move on to the next call, the next incident. And I went home that night not knowing what happened with any of the patients, and I didn't sleep well that night. And it was several days before I was able to find out even the outcome. And unfortunately, this happens with a lot of calls.
Mm-hmm.
I know this isn't supposed to be an operational thing, but a lot of times I'm left out of the loop and just wondering what happened to these people. Sometimes people that I've talked to on the phone, like, are they still alive? So just that, anxiety or anticipation, or just wanting to have some closure or some answers. Did I do the right thing? Did I?
I was a dispatcher for 8 years, so I know exactly what you're talking about. You don't get any of that. And think of it this way, and part of the reason you might be struggling a little more than what you maybe see other people doing is you get 20 adrenaline rushes while they have the one from the accident, right? And you go to one to one to one. And then, like you said, no answers. So that's very difficult. You're very sensory deprived in dispatch. And then, but we can maybe help you get some change and maybe fix that. But a lot of times that's a huge problem.
So I have to say, I'm very proud of our team here. You guys are all professionals. You all know your stuff. I'm very frustrated with all the equipment failures that we had. I'm frustrated with how the circumstances happened. I feel totally guilty on not having our personnel get hurt. That is going to totally hold on to me. There's a lot of things that we can do on the equipment that I will work on. But hopefully going forward, we can assess those problems. And I feel sorry for I really feel for you and your partner. And I just have incredible guilt that And I don't want anyone here to, I know it's hard to say, but not feel that, you know, because there are circumstances that we can't control. But you guys did what you're trained and you know how to do. And I'm proud of that.
Being in a supervisor role was obviously quite different than being in, and stereotypically we wouldn't have a supervisor stay in the room. But in this case, because you were so close involved with all your peers, that's why we kind of allowed it. And so the guilt because you own that, it's your baby. So thank you very much for sharing that.
I can't shake that because I feel responsible. I know that you're mad at me. I know you're mad at me. And I'm pretty sure all of you might be upset because of what I wasn't able to do. And I can't move past that because I feel responsible, and I feel that if I was able to do it better, do it differently, that we wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be in this mess. And I'm really sorry for letting you guys down, for not being as professional as I could have been. And, you know, it could have just been a malfunction, but I'm taking responsibility for it because I am, because it's my duty to make sure that our equipment works and functions. And because it didn't, that's on me. So I'm sorry.
Well, none of us are supermen or women. We're humans, okay, first of all. And you checked the equipment that morning and it worked, right? My guess is we just have a lot of anger at the situation. There were so many things. But I'm hoping that you guys that were showing some frustration with that realize that this probably was checked. She said it was checked. She's owning the fact it didn't work, but like several people have pointed out, sometimes things just fail. Mechanical things fail.
You know, Amanda, I have been really upset with you for the last couple of days. I've been avoiding you and avoiding talking to you about it, but you know, I actually appreciate that you're taking responsibility for it, because I do know that you're a perfectionist. I do know that you double checked that, you know, that you made sure that worked that morning. But, you know, so I do appreciate that you're taking responsibility and ownership for that, you know, and that goes a long way for me.
And the thing is, everything that you did that day, everything that everybody did, the outcome may not have changed. No matter if the roll-up door rolled up right away, no matter if the jaws of life worked, that young boy could have still lost his mother before we even got there, okay? And yes, that's the most horrible thing. And you're really struggling with seeing that boy's face and him losing his mom and him not being normal. But the thing is, you did the best you could do, and you, no matter if it went perfect, we may not have changed the outcome. So, you know, I appreciate what everybody's saying, but we are our own worst critic, you know, so we beat ourselves up more than most everybody else. But we may not have changed the outcome even if everything worked perfectly that day.
And that's what's going to make you that much better next time. Moving forward in your career, that's going to make you double check things or just make you that much better when you respond next time.
Kind of like Matt said, now he knows that he needs to plan for the what if, the oh, you know, shucks, if it happens, right? So you'll kind of do that now in your head, I'm guessing, as well.